I recently went viral on TikTok, the social media platform that has pretty much consumed the entirety of Gen Z's attention since the start of the pandemic. Now, I don't say this to brag. In fact, I'm honestly a little embarrassed to be admitting it. I consider myself to be a serious student and someone whose life isn't dominated by their social media presence. But I went viral. And not just a little viral. 4.4 million people watched a silly video I made poorly impersonating celebrities. TikTok has an analytics feature, and I can see that cumulatively people spent over 30,000 hours watching two 1-minute videos I made. 30,000 hours sounds abstract, but now consider that is the equivalent of 1,250 days, or 178 weeks, or 3.5 years. Strangers from all over the world spent 3.5 years in total watching a stupid video I made impersonating Taylor Swift and Harry Styles. That is long enough to get a law degree with sufficient time left over to get a pilot's license. As the creator of these TikToks, I think I can fairly propose that those 4.4 million people may have wasted their time watching me embarrass myself on camera. But my recent 15 minutes of fame on TikTok begs the question, is social media a waste of time? However frivolous it might be, and despite everything I just said, I actually do not think that social media is a waste of time. My senior honors thesis in government here at Hamilton includes an analysis of certain social movements, and my perspective on social media's importance has been refined. I've concluded that social media is vital to the mobilization of social movements and to the ultimate success of political protests. In fact, a recent poll from the Pew Research Center revealed that 53% of adults in the United States have engaged with social media as a form of civic activism in the past year. Social media serves as an accessible platform that efficiently spreads information about an event or movement to a wide audience. The Arab Spring is recognized as one of the first historical events that used social media to organize protests and disseminate information both within countries involved in the uprisings and internationally. A poll conducted by the Arab Social Media Report revealed that nearly 9 in 10 Egyptians and Tunisians surveyed in March 2011 said that they were using Facebook to organize protests or spread awareness about them. Social media has played such a consequential role in democratization across the world that a new term was even coined by White House Champions of Change honoree Stephen Clift to describe its involvement in governance. Digital democracy, or e-democracy, refers to the way that technology, like social media, is able to promote democratic institutions. Social media's involvement in modern democracy has only grown in the decade since the Arab Spring began, and it has helped mobilize many social movements, including the Me Too movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, and the March for Our Lives. I myself attended the March for Our Lives in Washington, D.C., which was entirely organized by students on social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, following the mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018. The Gabby Giffords Law Center reports that 67 gun safety bills were signed into law in 2018, and that the March for Our Lives rally marked a turning point in the conversation about gun control in the United States. As I heard survivors of that deadly shooting speak while looking out over a sea of a million heads that day in DC, I realized the power that social media has to bring people together. As I just stated, social media plays a critical role in social movements and is thus a critical aspect of society today. The Pew Research Center reports that 64% of Americans feel that social media helps give a voice to underrepresented groups, but that 71% agree with the statement, social media makes people believe they're making a difference when they really aren't. I think that this is a valid counterargument and absolutely believe that performative activism has plagued social media as it's grown. However, I've also seen firsthand how social media can swiftly and efficiently raise awareness about time-sensitive issues. Back in September, a 20-year-old woman who was a member of my local community in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, was arrested while serving as a medic at a local protest after a man named Ricardo Munoz was shot and killed by the police. Our local newspaper reported that her bail was set at an astounding $1 million, a clear violation of the Eighth Amendment that prohibits excessive bail. This double injustice was widely shared on social media, and this incident garnered so much attention that the judge reduced her bail to $50,000 after an online petition was signed by hundreds of community members. That $50,000 was an amount that was raised overnight through social media. Although using social media can definitely allow some people to think that they are making a difference when they clearly are not, I have witnessed social media deployed to raise funds or for those in need and focus our attention on urgent contemporary problems. This has only reinforced my stance that social media is certainly not a waste of time. On a more personal note, I believe that social media serves as a way to stay connected with loved ones during difficult times. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated feelings of isolation and loneliness as we've spent more time quarantined and alone than ever before. We've spent much more time closely tethered to our homes, and it seems only natural that some of that downtime would translate to consuming more social media. Indeed, the Harris poll conducted a study between late March and early May of 2020 that found that between 46 and 51% of US adults were using social media more since the COVID-19 outbreak began. Although we've certainly been consuming it more, social media has served as an important way to create communities and stay connected with loved ones who we've been unable to see in person this past year. A Gallup poll recently reported that 74% of Americans who use social media say it has been very or moderately important as a way to stay connected with people who are close to them that they've been unable to see in person since the pandemic began. I know that I've personally turned to social media as a way to stay in touch with friends and family, and I know that the time I devoted to social media was well spent when I've been confined this past year. So, can social media be a time sink? Probably. Could the 4.4 million people who watched my celebrity impressions on TikTok have dedicated their time to a more worthy endeavor? Absolutely. But the time invested in social media can serve as a vital way for people to connect on both a personal and a global scale. Whether that be mobilizing a protest, raising money or awareness for an important cause, or connecting with your loved ones during tumultuous times, social media has the power to unite in a remarkable way. Thank you.